views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDB TV.
Whether she's walking the red carpet or doing interviews, you'll find her with celebrities and all the latest news. She's here, she's there, she's everywhere, she's always on the go. So sit back, relax, and get ready, 'cause it's the Corey Taylor Talks Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Corey Taylor Talks, live from Las Vegas, the #1 teen talk show. Except today, we are pre-recording because I have an incredible guest that, honestly, it's been years since I've had her on, but she is just truly phenomenal, and I really love her message and what she's doing, and she's just very interesting, and what she's setting out to do is just phenomenal, and I think everyone can learn from her. And I think a lot of people who know about her absolutely adore her and follow her, and then there's a lot of people out there that don't know much about the Silver Legion or anything, but this is a great way for them to learn. So I have the fabulous Tannath with us, who is the commander of the Silver Legion. So hi, Tannath, how are you?
Hi, it's so good to hear from you again, Corey. I'm doing pretty well. As most people know, I'm an extremely private individual, so I don't really do a lot of shows or talk a lot to the public these days. I'm currently teaching. I finished my teaching degree, did quite well actually, and I am teaching in a local district. I'm not going to say much more than that, other than I'm what we call a supply or substitute, and really enjoying my time with the kids and hoping someday soon to have my own classroom.
That's incredible. I mean, I God bless you. I think teachers are just amazing, and that takes a very special person to be a teacher. So that's awesome that you're doing that too.
Thanks.
So I know, like I said at the beginning of the show, you have many people who are very familiar with the Silver Legion and are involved with it, but there's unfortunately a lot of people that don't know much about it. So can you explain really what the Silver Legion is for all the new people who are unfamiliar?
So the Silver Legion is a non-physical organization made up of people who are mostly not alive on this planet, but are either in space or in other dimensions or phases of existence, I guess you could call them. But we specialize in dealing with issues of like when you have a culture or a civilization which has been severely oppressed and has asked for help in freeing itself. In this case, we have an entire planet that has been asking for help, that being the planet that we're currently on now. The Silver Legion has grown a great deal from when I first personally became aware of my own history and my own involvement with the Silver Legion, because you're not born knowing typically on this planet. You were born not knowing much of anything, and you have to recover those memories, and it's difficult and a long, painful process that doesn't always happen to everyone, but I'm getting a little off track here. We sent a number of people like myself, which we call incarnates. We are people who are physically human. We were born human, but our origin, our spirit origin, is from somewhere else. In my case, I am a dragon, not from any known species that shows up in your media or your fiction, but I am a dragon nonetheless. And we have a couple thousand people who are on the surface here, and several million who are not. So we have grown quite a bit. We are involved in what is colloquially called the Alliance, which is a group of multiple star civilizations, multiple organizations. Some of them are organizations that are single origin, I guess you could say. We're all from the same species or the same civilization. Others are like the Silver Legion and are mixed and made up of different people from different places, all coming together to do the same thing. But we are involved in an alliance that is composed of several hundred different member groups that are all involved in what we call the Earth Project or the Earth Mission.
Wow. Wow, and so I think that's just it's so interesting. And now you said that you're not born knowing this. So what age did you realize your past and your history, and what's the average age for most people when they're awakened by this?
Well, it seems to me that a lot of people start awakening upon reaching adolescence. I was 16 personally. I had flashes starting from about 13 or 14 where I would have precognitive incidents. Those are basically you become aware that something's going to happen right before it happens, or a few days before it happens. And that had me questioning a lot about what I had been taught. I had been raised Christian, and I had been raised in a very no-nonsense, no mysticism kind of brand of Christianity that did not speak about anything like that at all. So it was a complete mystery for me. Really the only place I had to turn was science fiction and fantasy novels, which were the only things that really made sense for some of the things that I was experiencing. These days, there's a lot more resources out for young people who are awakening. And yes, it's usually around those puberty years that people start to first get that awakening impulse. Not everyone gets it. Not everybody gets it at the same time. I'd say between 15 and 20 is pretty common, but I've talked to people who have woken in their 30s and 40s and even 50s and older who have, spent a whole full life living and then all of a sudden started to have memories another time or started to feel pulled into something. I think we're going to see a lot more people who are being pulled into things now, who are getting that inner urge to wake up, pay attention, look at what's going on around you, discover more about yourself. Become a strong person in yourself, understand who you are, what you are. We're going to see more of this because we're moving into what seems to be the final phases of the Earth mission.
Okay, and so when you say the Earth mission and what is the Earth mission, and what do you mean exactly with the final phases of it?
So most people who are looking out at society will realize that something is wrong. We're more stressed out, we're more anxious than we've ever been in history.
Right.
We're seeing families broken apart, we're seeing more kids raised without both parents in the home, or without really strong adult figures that they could rely on, that they could trust. We're seeing a situation where human life is starting to exist for the sole disposal of corporations and governments instead of for its own sake. So that your life, your purpose in life is to merely become a cog in someone else's machine rather than to live as a self-actualized human being in your own right. Most people are looking at things like the medical industry, pharmaceuticals in particular. They're looking at things like the financial industry. I'm not a young person anymore. I'm getting rather close to 40, and I am in a situation where I started with student loans, and I'm unlikely to ever be able to do the stereotypical adult participation things such as owning property or being even somewhat financially secure because of the way society has changed. And my outlook is poor, but the outlook for young people is even worse. With student loans, with shifting away from salaried full-time employment towards gig economies such as Uber and Lyft, and don't get me wrong, these are great things, but they're not really sustainable in the long term. You can't really raise a family on it. Life is becoming more and more hostile and unfriendly to each generation of humans as we go on. And some, such as myself and the Alliance, believe that this is not simply something we're doing out of our own boneheaded stupidity, but that human society has been groomed, engineered to reach this. We see the culprits as, I guess you could call them Luciferians. That's going to be a term that's going to be triggering for some. It's shrouded in a lot of conspiracy theory. But from what my own direct personal experiences have been and the direct personal experiences of survivors that I've spoken with, these people are 100% real, and they are backed by hostile ETs. And they definitely have a 100% nasty agenda for the rest of humanity. And that's why the Earth mission is here, to stop that agenda from taking place.
Gotcha. And so do you believe there is hope for us then in that case? Is that what you're trying to fight for, is what I'm understanding?
Oh, absolutely. We are nowhere near the point where we need to give up hope. For one thing, if the agenda was being successful, the irony is that nobody'd be able to see it. It would just seem so natural and normalized, and the string pullers would be hidden because you can see the cracks leaking out all over the place. You can see the evidence of conspiracy among corporations, among pharmaceutical industries. You can see, corrupt politicians at it. It's so in your face these days. At some point, even the most determinedly blinkered person has to sit up and say, you know what, something's wrong.
No, I really agree with you. It just, unfortunately, the world just is so divided, and it's so horrible to look at the world now, and it's so stressful and scary. But I think that's amazing that there is still hope, because sometimes even for for humans who have no idea what's going on, it just seems like the world's hopeless. So at least that's good to know that there's.
You have to be really, really careful about your information sources, because it's very hard to find an unbiased information source that will just give you facts without spin these days. It used to be that the internet was a good place to go for it. These days we're seeing even some of the new generation media sources, not including yourself, don't worry about that, but new generation media sources that are getting in line with the old generation media sources. And we're seeing big corporations given the mandate to control the flow of information and the zeitgeist, the narrative, such as Twitter and Facebook. Silicon Valley is a very big issue because between Silicon Valley and Hollywood and the mainstream media, they are controlling what people have access to, the kinds of thoughts and discussions that we have, and the kinds of opinions that we form and our view of the world that forms based on those things. And I think it's a very dangerous thing. It's if you are, drinking in 100% of those sources and not looking anywhere else, the world looks awful. Right. It seems like we're in some kind of hideous racist dystopia where everything is out to get you, and that's not the case at all. It's a spun vision of the world, and it's deliberately engineered to cause anxiety, to cause strife, to spur people to push back against those who are actually trying to work in their best interests and the interests of freedom. It's frightening.
Yeah, no, it is, and I completely agree too. It's hard to find unbiased opinions and news sources and everything, and you just want the facts, but no matter what you read, it's hard to find anything that's just factual and not biased in some sort of way. So I agree, it's a scary thing, and people are controlling it, and that's not a good thing at all.
Yeah, we had a really, really egregious example of this over the last week about the issue that came up with those school kids that were just basically standing on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial when there was a couple of rallies that met there, and one image was shown to the public that was very, very radically different from what actually happened, and as a result, these kids faced death threats. The school was closed for a couple of days over it, and people were running around publishing, propaganda on how these kids should be harmed for simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time and having a media campaign against them. And I'm thinking of the kids that I teach. I teach middle school and high school. Those are the age grades that I really get along with. I know everybody's like, middle school, are you crazy? But I like teaching middle schoolers. I like getting along with the younger kids because it's such a crazy, hormonal, painful time, and if you don't have a stable, steady adult presence in your life to help you deal with it, it could be seriously rough. I went through it myself. And I teach kids that are the age of these kids, the Covington kids, and I'm thinking about, most of my kids wouldn't be equipped with how to deal with this. They wouldn't be psychologically and socially equipped with how to handle the fallout. It would be horrible for them to go through, and I can only shudder to think about what these poor kids are going through.
Yeah. No, and I got to be honest, too, even when I first saw the video you're talking about, I was like, oh, my gosh, how horrible that these kids would do that. But I blame myself, too. You shouldn't believe everything you just see off of one short thing. And then the whole video came out, and you're like, oh, my gosh, it was just the whole situation was just terrible. And these poor kids, they're high schoolers, they're children. And these, like you said, the whole world was sending them just horrible negativity and hatred, and it was really a terrible thing that these poor kids had to go through. So. And with that being said, I was reading a little bit. What are your actual thoughts on karma? Because I was reading about that on your website, and how you talk about it. It seems people think of it like what goes around comes around, but you explained it in a different way, and I thought that was kind of important to bring up. So can you explain how you explain karma is?
So the traditional conception of karma is kind of a divine system of punishment and reward, where, if you're a bad person in one life, then you're going to get punished by having a cruddy life in your next life. Maybe you're a flatworm or something like that. Or if you do good things, then you're rewarded in your next life by being given a plum seat in society. Maybe you're a prince or a king or a princess or something like that, where you have social power. That is sort of the traditional common belief of karma. Or some people will even say that it comes in this life, where if you do bad things, then, okay, bad things will happen to you in this life, or if you do good things, then you'll be elevated in this life. It's pretty much a tit-for-tat accounting system, and it's not really ever explained the mechanism about how this is secured, and you end up with a situation where if something bad happens to somebody, instead of trying to change the situations that cause it, people just say, oh, well, it's karma. We can't do anything about it. Just let them suffer. Or we don't question, the success of the apparent success of people, and we just say, oh, well, they must have been really good people in another life. And, not all of these people who are super successful are doing it because they were good people in this life or any other. Karma, in that conception, tends to fall flat. My experience with karma is that there is nobody out there who has the authority to sit there and count beans on your life and say, okay, well, Tannath did, cut somebody off in traffic, so here's one bean away, but oh, she helped that kid pass his course, so here's 2 beans or whatever. There's nobody out there doing that. There are some contenders who are trying to, but there is nothing in the universe that gives them the right to do so. This is what people don't understand. Source isn't up there sitting there keeping a book on you. There are opportunities. Karma tends to actually play out in terms of if you have something unfinished that you desperately wish to have an answer for, you desperately wish to finish, you'll have that opportunity. It will come around to you again. And if you have done something that is completely out of whack, that is completely destructive, and offers up a lot of damage to other people, then the opportunity for you to fix it will come up. And it'll keep coming up. And the more you push it away deliberately, the more you double down, the more that when that opportunity comes up, it'll be a serious one, until at some point you're put into a position where you have to fix your mistakes one way or another or perish. Gotcha. And this is not something that is overseen by a consciousness or anything like that. It synchronistically happens. There's nobody doing the accounting. And that conception of karma it doesn't sit there and doom you to a life as a cloud of gnats because you cut somebody off in traffic or because you pissed somebody off or something like that. It's not so tit for tat. It really only counts for the big things.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. And I like you said, too, it's not every little thing, because everyone has bad days, so the thought that would affect your whole life is scary, but it's the big things, and that makes sense that you have to correct your mistakes.
Yeah. And, it's not something like where you could be a great person all your life, have one bad day, make a mistake that gets somebody killed, and that's it. You're going to live as a rat next life or something like that.
Right.
It looks at basically that system, it covers the whole of your actions and the big things, not the little bits that, you don't end up with a cancel-out system, in other words. It's parallel.
Yeah. And so I want to talk a little bit more, because there's been so much stuff since we last spoke. So I was looking on your website. I believe since we last spoke, the Silver Legion is not working with the Andromeda Council anymore, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And is there a specific reason for it? Is there disagreements or anything like because I know
We have some disagreements on methods, and we have some disagreements on approach. But largely, part of the thing was it was over the promises for ascension. As you know, we bought into this. A lot of people bought into this. We were given a time range, and when it didn't happen, it went into an informational black hole. No mention was ever made of it again. And that struck me as very disingenuous and very insulting, because they were 100% adamant about the fact that this would happen. And then when it didn't, they didn't even acknowledge.
right.
And that seemed to us to be extremely, I don't even know how to put it. It's very dishonest and very disingenuous, and a whole bunch of other disses, right? It doesn't make sense. If you can't own up on that, how the heck can we trust you on anything else? Right. So it was over things like that we broke ties, and we also found that on some of their biospheres, we did some infiltration. That's some of what we do. And we found spaces that were hidden from the regular access to the biospheres in which there were reptilian nobility. Now, if you're new to this whole mess, this is going to sound like a bunch of sci-fi and a bunch of garbage, but these are my experiences, so I'll put them out as I've had them. We found basically enemy operatives living in comfort on Andromeda Council biospheres, and that had us questioning a whole bunch of things. And what we found with the Andromeda Council is that, just like here, most of the people did not have any idea what was going on. They were in on it, but there were a few key figures that were, and those were key figures that were in entrenched positions in power, and the others would cover for them when we tried to expose them. So we just finally said, you know what, forget it, we're going to blockade you guys, we're not going to let you have any more influence here, and we're not going to continue ties with us. Go clean your house when you're done, come back. As far as I know, that housekeeping hasn't taken place.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, but at least you brought to light that, and now you guys are aware of what's going on, and so that's why you could separate the ties. So.
Yeah, and you know, it's not like they were unilaterally a bunch of buttheads. There was mostly good people there, and they were trying to do a good job, but they were, again, hampered by those in power who had taken deals or had personal gain in mind. And unfortunately, they believed that because they were higher dimensional that they were immune from such things. Well, sorry, dimensionality isn't a measure of goodness.
Yeah. And I know before a few years ago, we talked a little bit about the Cabal. Is that kind of what you're saying, where they partnered up with the Cabal, or were there some members of the Cabal infiltrating it? Is that what you're kind of saying?
Well, more the backers of the Cabal infiltrated them.
Oh, okay.
Because the Cabal itself can't really offer anything to most off-world civilizations that they don't already have. But the Cabal is in turn backed by another group, which is backed by another group, which is backed by another group. It's a bit of a pyramid shell game.
Gotcha.
Kind of like here on Earth, I used to work in an agency that often did corporate searches. We were tasked with investigating malfeasance, basically when companies violate fair trading practices that are codified in our statute law. And sometimes, as an admin there, we would prepare the dossier with all the known information about these companies when a complaint came in, so that the assessment officer could then make a determination about whether or not it should be investigated or whether or not this, is just a bunch of garbage. And every now and then we'd come into a situation where we had one corporation that was owned by another corporation, which was owned by another corporation, which was owned by another corporation, and you could dig for hours through dozens of different corporations and levels and all of their ties and never find a single solitary person or real address. This is by no means uncommon. This is how the Cabal runs things on Earth. There are certain groups that you can look into that will show you this if you have access to the records, things like the Carlisle group. But it's not just us. We're finding the same situation with some of these off-world groups that have come to be involved here.
Yeah, Yeah, and so have the cabal been active lately? Then, I mean, it sounds like they have been. Have they been more prominent in the world, or have they kind of backed off a little bit, or what's going on with them right now?
Well, they seem to be in some kind of panic. We've seen, again, more blue-green fireballs. Fireballs, when they're reported, watch and see the footage, see the color of it. If it's red, orange, yellow, that is typically a meteorite, because red, orange, yellow are the colors of nickel and iron when they burn up in the atmosphere. Blue and green and blue-white, that is typically high alloy, high-tech metals, things that contain more copper and aluminum. They burn blue-green. Guess what ships are made out of? Usually high alloy metals, not ferrites and nickel and things like that, but things that involve mostly things that burn blue-green. So when you see blue-green, it's usually not a meteorite. That was usually just somebody's ship just went up in flames.
Wow.
So watch that. But you can also see in the media, you can see increased calls towards hatred, towards action, towards judgments. Those are like, they like to talk a lot about dog whistling, but those are dog whistles to people to get upset, to get hot under the collar, to go push against things that might actually be in their best interest if they had full range of information and knew what was going on, and to basically do what the cabal wants. We have seen an increase in covert events where things I'm not going to say it's staged or faked, but something is passed off as something that it isn't a lot of times, and they're doing things which cause a great deal of harm to people, that kill people, that make international news, and the stories, the truth behind the event is never what's given on television.
Yeah.
We're seeing an increase in small planes going down. We're seeing also a lot of coded messages, especially on Twitter and in the media, things that are designed to send a message to the correct actors, but just appear to be normal banter or nonsense to the average reader who doesn't know about these.
Yeah, and how do we know who are the cabal and everything? Is it matter of fact, or is it just kind of you have to pay attention to the signs, or are there prominent figures that we know of, or the government? Like, how do we know who's part of the cabal?
Well, it's hard to tell, especially since at this stage we're seeing cabal actors flip, change allegiance, who maybe they've been part of it their whole life, maybe they were born into it, maybe they were inducted as adults, and they don't like it. They're splitting off. We're seeing people go renegade. We're seeing also good guys go renegade because they're fearing repercussion, they're fearing assassination, they're fearing having their lives ruined, so they throw in the towel and go with the bad guys, so to speak. It's hard to tell. It's a moving target. There's a lot going on in politics and entertainment and the media. These are the big arenas that all eyes are on. Okay. There's also a lot going on in the areas that these things are distractions for. In the military-industrial complex, we've seen what's called a fifth column. In military terminology, a fifth column is a group that arises within your own organization that opposes your goals. So there are two kinds of fifth columns. There are the fifth columns that are the outright cabal, and there are the fifth columns that are the anti-cabal, or the white hats. The white hats have been particularly busy. There's been a lot of incidents passed on as innocuous events, such as drones shutting down airports, or crickets harming embassy personnel in other countries, that you know it's a cover for something else. It's hard for the individual to be able to tell definitively whether somebody is on our side or not. I say follow your gut and try not to let other people poison the well for you. There are certain extremely prominent figures in politics today who are very dangerous actors, and there are certain extremely prominent figures in politics today who are also on the side of humanity, but sometimes they're forced to do things that seem counterproductive. Sometimes they're forced to do things that are very unpopular in order to win the game as a whole. It's a war out there. People are dying. We've had assassination attacks and attempts on people that we're protecting. There's one person in particular, an elected official. On the night he was elected, we observed and helped prevent at least 14 assassination attempts in the next 48 hours after his election. I'm not going to mention any politicians by name, because I know that some of the people that I'll be mentioning as being on our side are going to cause some of the listeners to go, what? And be very dismissive of the whole thing. But I'm just going to say some of the people who are most vilified by the press are among our best fighters down here who are 100% committed to human freedom.
Interesting. No, and I kind of want to ask too. It sounds similar. The Illuminati, is that something sort of similar? Is that involved at all? Is that even a real thing? Is that something you would kind of say is like that?
So the history of the Illuminati is kind of interesting. I'm not an expert on this by any means. If you look at most public sources, they will say the Illuminati was started by Adam Weishaupt. I think it was about 400 years ago or something like that, and he called it the Bavarian Illuminati. I think it was probably a branch of the cabal that started out, and I think it was also used to sort of gauge interest in the wannabes and find out who might be good to cultivate as part of the club, so to speak. But the cabal goes back a lot farther than simply Adam Weishaupt and the Bavarian Illuminati, and the cabal has many other branches besides simply the Illuminati, and which is specifically an intelligentsia branch. Intelligentsia, if you're not, for those listeners who aren't familiar with the term, generally means the people who are involved in academic and philosophical and political undertakings. The commentators and thinkers of a various time. That's the intelligentsia. The intelligentsia are largely the ones who are coming up with the theories that they're trying to get everybody else to follow in society. And yeah, that is one branch of the cabal, although I think not everybody who thinks of themselves as Illuminati really understands how deep it goes. It's just like everybody always points fingers at Freemasons. Well, if you're a third-degree Freemason, you're probably just a regular person who's doing some networking. The real dangerous stuff doesn't start until much, much higher in the organization, in the truly secret areas. And even then, you can go quite deep without realizing exactly what's going on.
Right. Interesting. And yeah, it sounded similar. So I was thinking that maybe it'd be connected, and sounds like a little bit, but much farther back, the cabal goes. I know it goes back way farther. Than most humans can even think of. So.
Yeah, it goes back until at least Atlantis, and they had some Egypt and the ancient Babylonians were the ancestors of the current cabal were largely in those societies, but it does go back even further into history that isn't recorded after the fall of Atlantis.
Wow.
It's a long game. It's a very long game.
Yeah. No, very interesting, and I know a lot of history is involved with it, so I think that's a great thing for people to look up and get more into with that, because there is a very huge history with you guys. And I do have to say, I was just kind of wondering this. Now with the internet, I bet it's a lot easier for humans who were awakened and remember their past and what they're meant to be and what they're meant to do. But back way before the internet and everything, how was it for people who were awakened to find each other and to complete their mission? Because I'm sure it was a much more difficult process back then than it is now with the internet.
It was much more difficult. What you would find is that I'm a child of the IRC and the Usenet era.
Okay.
So when I was a kid, we had basic kinds of internet, news groups and Usenet and things like that, which most young people today don't know what that was like. It was all text-based, almost no images, because back then we used modems to connect via dial-up, and the fastest, there was no such thing as broadband unless you were part of a university or other kind of entity that had access to that kind of T1 and T2 connection. And there would be Usenet groups where you would be able to give yourself a screen name, go on and talk and discuss things like that. There was a small awakening of people who use magic, and I don't mean stage magic. I mean they believed in utilizing things like chaos magic or various hermetic traditions. There were the rise of what are now called otherkin, or people who realized that they had a non-human origin. Starseeds, those things started to come out on Usenet, and that's what allowed people like me to sort of interact with others of the same mind. Prior to that, in the 80s and the 70s, before my time, but before all of that started to become public, the best place to go was actually places like Ren fairs and psychic fairs. That's where you'd find like-minded people. And even then, there wasn't a lot, because travel was a little cheaper than it is now, and a lot easier than it is now. But at the same time, still not everybody could afford to go to a con or to a Ren fair or things like that. Usually it was only the very hardcore dedicated who were able to routinely go to one. So before a certain period, the only type of connection that you had would be those kinds of gatherings of like-minded individuals, and it was largely luck or synchronicity that you met anyone at all.
Gotcha.
So the internet has been a huge boon to people like us, but at the same time, as soon as the threat became recognized by the cabal, they took measures to attempt to encircle, corral, control, and contain the internet, and barring the ability to contain, seed as much disinformation and garbage as they can, so that people exist in a constant state of confusion where they can't determine what is or is not valid and what is or is not good information.
Right. No, that's very interesting. Yeah, I was just I was kind of thinking about that and how difficult it must have been. So that's very eye-opening, and it just shows how it was. So that's interesting. And I know it's actually getting towards the end of our interview, but before we go, I just wanted to ask, do you have any messages? Do you see anything happening in the future that you can help guide us and tell us what's going on?
So when it comes to the future, most people who speak to me know that I am pretty adamant about the fact that the future is not written. What happens in the future, even though there's people who've been to other timelines and other futures and seen things, what they saw in their timeline is not necessarily going to have any impact at all on the future that we experience. The future that we experience depends on us, and it depends on what we do in the moment, at every single moment when major choices come up or major options to act come up. Follow your heart. Try to keep in your mind the intention for the highest possible outcome, and do your best to keep yourself together, to keep yourself stable, grounded, rock steady. The people who are able to hear this information and realize that there's something to it, you guys are going to help be way showers, because as things start to get crazier and crazier in the world around us, people are going to be lost. They're not going to know how to make sense of it, because there has been no framework for them to be able to make sense of it. All of the existing frameworks, religion, politics, education, the things that we've been taught in the mainstream, they're not going to be sufficient to explain what is going on to everyone. So it's going to be necessary for people who are aware of the secret history of the world, who are aware of the real controllers of society, to be able to help people make sense of it. There's going to likely be some disclosures in public that are extremely, extremely shocking about public figures who are considered to be heroic or good people, or, fine, upstanding members of society, of the media, and things like that. Some of these disclosures will be shocking. We know that the cabal has already attempted to precede ideas that will cast further doubt into mind, the ideas of deep fakes and videos being faked. No, when you start to see this stuff coming out, they're going to claim that it's been faked by political opponents for political reasons. No, it's not. Some of the stuff that's going to be disclosed is absolutely hideous and disgusting. Some people here have heard about something called, hashtag, and it involves pizza, and it involves Gates, I will put it that way. It is not a conspiracy theory about a prominent politician peddling kids out of a pizza parlor. That's BS. That is a narrative that was seeded by the mainstream media in order to discredit it. This has to do with worldwide trafficking of children and women and workers, migrant workers, for the purposes of free labor, inappropriate acts, and even murder. So some of these disclosures are going to shock people, and some of us are going to see our heroes brought before us as monsters, and it's going to be hard to take. And we will need people who help others make sense of it. Try to avoid rushing to judgment. Try to avoid panicking. Try to stay centered. Try to be a rock for everyone else around you to steady themselves with, because things could get wild.
Yeah, I was going to ask if for just normal people who haven't been awakened or anything, is that's the way they can help spread the message and everything, because I personally myself either, some people haven't had awakenings or aren't part of it, so that's the way they can help is be aware and spread the message that is actually going on.
Follow your gut. Your gut is your best rudder, because it'll tell you if something doesn't seem to add up. Before your conscious mind is able to put it together, your gut's already realized something doesn't add up. And, some people attribute this to metaphysical connections. It could well be, but you can also easily attribute it to some part of you already knows something doesn't add up and can sense the wrongness, can see the evidence that your conscious mind hasn't been able to process yet. Follow the gut. Your gut is your best rudder. And we'll need it, because we're going to go through some very confusing and upsetting times.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's always been something told is trust your gut. So that's a good way to go.
Yeah. One more piece of advice is that, everything is two-tailed. One theory that we have is that there's a splitting of reality, such that most of us are going to go to a much more positive sort of reality, and some of us are going to a much less positive reality. It is not something, again, where there is somebody sitting there judging you and deciding whether you go. It is all about you. It is all about your orientation, and I don't mean your sexual orientation or gender or anything like that. I mean, where does your heart point? Are you pointing to hate? Are you pointing to judgment? Are you pointing to anger? Or are you pointing to love? Are you pointing to support? Are you pointing to helping one another? Try to, even in the midst of this chaos, even in the midst of disclosures that will make you enraged, try to maintain that heart focus on love, on connection, on all of that, because the other way is not a nice way.
Right. And I got a couple questions from my viewers, too, I wanted to ask you. Because we had some people that were very excited to have you on, and even though we just announced it. But so someone was saying that I guess you were talking about the archangels and how they're actually not good. Can you explain that a little more? And you also talked about Michael as well.
Yeah. So the arch in archangels comes from archon. Archon is Greek for controller. Some of us will have heard the term archon as thrown about by the Gnostics, archons being the entities that were involved in maintaining the deception and maintaining the prison on humans on this planet. According to my own personal remembrances and my own experiences, the archon angels were the ones that went with the false authority that wanted to essentially steal as many entities, as many beings as it could into its own dominance hierarchy, where it ruled as God in the place of the Creator over everyone else. And there were plenty of nasty sorts that agreed to go along with that, because they saw it as, okay, well, we could be sanctioned to be as nasty as we want, and we'll be doing our job, and nobody's going to stand in our way. And there were also some sorts that would generally be considered good who went into it, and they thought, well, instead, we believe we know what is best for everyone else, so we will go and we will make them do what we think is best. And those are part of the archon angels and the other archon groups. And there has been schisms or schisms among that group, as some others have defected, and some of these were vilified as demons. The ones who defected long ago were vilified as demons, like Azazel, who is sometimes just called Azazel, defected. Azazel was the demonic name that was given to him, but he was originally Azazel, and he was not a demon. So we saw that kind of thing. We saw the demonization of other small g gods who were not involved in the Archontic pyramid, and we also saw some more recently break free, such as Michael, who basically said, you know what, I've had enough. There are a lot of tulpas. Some people here who are listening may be familiar with tulpa creation and what a tulpa is. A tulpa is a Tibetan concept for a living thought form, essentially something that everyone believes in so much until it actually starts to come into existence. And the tulpa of Michael has the characteristics that the believers believe. And there's not just one tulpa, there's many tulpas of Michael. So they basically run around attempting to listen to prayers and help people. And so Mike lets them do their thing because, all in all, tulpas of the Archangel Michael are almost always beneficial and are usually helping people, so there's really no sense in stopping them. So he doesn't. So a lot of the times when people say they've got a reply from Archangel Michael, what they got was a tulpa. Because Mike doesn't run around answering prayers. There's way too many prayers, and it's not really a feasible thing for one individual to do. But the tulpas do, and they do their best.
Gotcha. No, that's I know someone was asking about that, so that's very interesting information given. And I do. There was someone else asked about. There's this new, I guess, channel. It's called Unexplained. I believe it's Gaia, Gaia. Do you know anything about that? Do you have thoughts on that?
I don't have a subscription to Gaia, so I haven't watched any of those things. I know a couple of years ago, David Wilcock and Corey Good were making a lot of waves on Gaia. I don't know since what's happened. They seem to have dropped down their activity. So I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest.
Right. No. Well, I'm so happy that we had you back on, Tannath. You really, I think you've given some amazing updates, and for some people who might not have been aware, I really think you opened their eyes and exposed them to something else out there. So I really appreciate you being on. It was an honor having you on again. And can you please tell where people can keep updated with you and find out more information about you and everything?
Well, occasionally I will post on my blog on the Silver Legion website. The website is www.silverlegion.org. So that's silver as in the metal, and legion as in many warriors. .org. That's important. It's not a .com. There's a blog section on there that I occasionally post to, and sometimes I post links to audio clips that I do on YouTube, but I haven't done anything for a while. For the last couple of years, I have been focused on finishing my degree and getting a teaching job. And I've also been focused on doing some more of the behind-the-scenes Silver Legion activities, which we don't really make public, because so much of what we do is what we call operational. We don't talk about it publicly. Operational stuff, you don't talk about an operation when it's going on, and you often don't talk about an operation after the fact either, because you don't want the people you did the operation against getting the right idea about what it was that you were doing or intending. So we keep a lot of what we do private and away from the information sector, because we don't want to compromise our methods, we don't want to compromise our actions, we don't want to compromise especially any protective details that we have, keeping people from getting assassinated. Much of what we're doing right now is focused on anti-assassination of key figures to make sure that people who are in special positions to actually make things happen don't get knocked off before they should, or at all.
No, absolutely. Well, I think that's amazing, and I really hope people who weren't aware become go to the website and learn more about it and learn more about everything that you're doing, because you really are incredible. And thank you so much. It was really an honor. I know you don't do interviews much. I can't thank you enough for doing this.
Now, this is my first interview in a couple of years, and, you know, I don't think I would have said yes for anyone except for maybe Vince. I don't know if he's still doing shows.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't thank you enough. It's been an honor, and I'd love to have you on again soon sometime as well, because I just think you're amazing. So thank you so much.
Sure, thank you.
I have a great day.
Thanks.
And that was Tannath with the Silver Legion. Oh my goodness, she was phenomenal. I mean, what an amazing woman, and their message and everything with the Silver Legion is just truly incredible. So please go to silverlegion.org and get more information on it, and really be kept up to date with everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, never give up, always believe, and you'll achieve. Thank you. God bless.